Why is it seen as normal for women to insult, express their distaste for men or make generalized remarks but is seen as sexist if men do the same? You're scary, that's pretty much it, and some of us feel threatened by that. Even if you don't mean it, we will fight to survive in a male-dominated world. Women are standing up and finally fighting a world you already own. Just look at the comments and you have your answer. It's socially acceptable to blame men for pretty much everything. A few days ago there was a post about why saying small dick energy is okay and not body shaming, and many comments basically just said that men are at fault for it. If men complain about injustice, then they will often get insulted because as a man you're just supposed to eat it up apparently. It's actually pretty trendy to irrationally hate women on the internet nowadays, so maybe it's a crappy reactionary cope on her part. It could also have to do with vocal minority of people from any gender who love to hate for no reason. I think it's a mixture of both. But to claim women bad me victim for this specific topic is really biased, considering considering the insults I see guys dish out on a daily unprovoked. I'm not saying you're a part of that, but I will say don't pretend it doesn't exist. This is a biased post. It's sexist either way, but it's viewed as more justified, and less harmful, when women do it, because historically women had little power in society and very few rights. Even today they're often seen as inferior, treated unfairly as a group, etc. So when a woman makes sexist remarks about men, it's often seen as getting even and fighting the power and quad. It's similar to how black people can say I'm proud to be black, but a white person can't express a similar sentiment without severe backlash. Essentially it's a double standard that's accepted by many as justified. Why don't more people run for President of the United States closer to when the age opens up at 35, yo? Because it's not that simple. Being 35 and a natural-born citizen are the minimum requirements to run. Not the only ones. Unless you are affiliated with the major parties who agree to run you as their candidate. You will need to run as an independent. That means you need to petition every state to put your name on the ballot. Each state has different requirements, from paying a fee to gathering sometimes tens of thousands of signatures. Some states require that those signatures be of unaffiliated voters or may have other rules. So you would essentially have to have the resources, financial and personnel, to launch campaigns in all 50 states to get your name on each state's ballots. Nothing will stop you if you have the money. But most people don't, not do they have the time or connections to raise the money, especially when it's very unlikely to go anywhere. People just don't want to put in that kind of effort or open themselves to public scrutiny. Unless they were already a political figure, most of these people wouldn't make it far because they're not a politician. Trump was an exception, not the rule. Lots of reasons. I think the main one is that not a whole lot of people run for president. You're dealing with a sample size of 20-ish people every 4 years, with a lot of overlap from election to election. That being said, there are more youngish candidates than you think. Marco Rubio was 45. Pete Buttigieg was 38. Obama was 47. And the people who pick the primary winners have a lot of things pushing them towards more experienced candidates. Voters in general are disproportionately older people. Name recognition is also a good thing in a party's primary. And the people with high name recognition are people who have usually already held office or have run for president before. Hard to do that as a young person. They not like feeling their own heartbeat while lying in bed? Yeah, that makes me anxious. Yay. If I've eaten before bed or drank a bunch of water or didn't exercise recently is when it happens to me. Takes a while to calm down like that. Yep, I hate it. I also hate when I wear earbuds and can feel/hear my heartbeat as well. My least favorite is when I eat food and feel my aorta pumping blood to my abdomen. My stomach even visibly pulsates when I've eaten and doctors say there is no aneurysm or anything causing it. Just in general, hearing or feeling heartbeat/blood flow is uncomfortable and can make me kinda anxious. I struggle with this every night. I sleep on my left side and on my stomach. What seems to work for me is to raise my chest, and luckily I have one small pillow that I put under my stomach and I put my arms under my shoulders to raise my chest. Putting me arms under the shoulders raises my chest and that don't put pressure on the heart as well. Men have read it. If you found out that a woman you were attracted to used to be very overweight/obese, how wouldn't that affect the way you view her? It happened to me once and I can to admit that it did change my opinion of her a bit. She was from old and a lot of our conversations started to make more sense. She had some odd insecurities and I would be lying if I said I wasn't a bit afraid that she would gain it back. I can say though it's not the reason we didn't work out. It was because she wasn't over her ex. He strangely enough got weird when she lost weight cause he was worried she was gonna leave him for someone more attractive. And it soured the relationship. I can say she also had a lot of redeeming traits that many girls who were traditionally attractive their whole life do not have. As someone who's trying to continue to lose weight, I've always had issues with it since middle school onward, and I am currently working on getting my thyroid and such checked as well due to family history with thyroid/hormones. I wonder about how my future partner would feel seeing me bigger in like my prom photos before I lost the first 20 pounds and even after in photos before I had my big mental health crisis in college where I was smaller due to lack of eating because I was depressed and other stuff. It's nice to know some people would have a positive response rather than a bad one. I hooked up with a girl that had weight loss surgery. She didn't tell me, but I found out when we got naked together and noticed the excess skin. I confirmed my theory when I saw pictures of her in her apartment. She was nice, cute, and I never saw her again. Another similar situation. This girl was open about her weight loss. Even showed me the before pics so I'd believe her. It was like an 80 to 100 pounds difference. She did not have the excess skin. Her reason for losing the weight was the best. She said she wanted to be smaller so she could be manhandled during sex.